chunks of flesh out of her breast and stuck his fist so far down her mouth, he sliced open part of her tongue.
And here's where the story falls apart. There's a lot of physical evidence that would be the charge on, at least a charge on assault, and a bite on the breast. Those types wouldn't heal so well. Some might be permanent scars. But the biggest thing is going back to your 911 call. How is it so clear? How's she talking so clear?
It's disturbing. As it's important for people to hear it.
Yes, it is important for people to hear it. For people to hear it, for the defense especially. People who can't decide who to believe.
Says Daniel wouldn't stop and stuck his fist so far down her mouth, he sliced open part of her tongue.
How are you even talking so clearly right now, in fact? Let alone right after you should have a blood coughing up blood. And there's more to the story, not even in this special about so-called true crimes.
He never He told a very different and plausible version of what happened. I know this because Abby herself posted a summary of his police statement on her Twitter account for all to see. He told police both of them were at the pregame party, drinking, talking, and kissing. There were people around who saw them. He had 6 to 7 beers, and Abby did not seem overly intoxicated to him. After they made out for a short time, he asked her if she wanted to go to his apartment. She willingly went with him. They went into his bedroom. She gave him a blowjob, then they had sex. And when they were finished, they laid on his bed for 5 minutes before he said, "Hey, let's do that again." Abby said no, and she wanted to go back to the party. He accepts that answer, and she began getting dressed. He said it was apparent to him that she expected him to accompany her back to the party. He declined, and she was mad at his refusal to return with her. So the police investigated for a couple of days and decided to drop the charges against him, finding enough evidence to conclude that Abby Honolds had essentially made a false accusation. This evidence included video recording of her approaching the apartment with him and with a smile on her face. One can assume there was also video evidence of her leaving in a huff. She says it was because she was raped. He says it was because she was mad at him for not accompanying her back to the party.
She says it because you're mad. I thought she says
She was paralyzed with fear, but she was determined to survive.
He had raped me 2 times at that point, and I had started fighting him.
Finally, Daniel gets mad and lets Abby go. She runs for her life and dials 911.
wait a minute, didn't that camera shown how the way you were leaving? It's like the evidence supporting Daniel. And now, which side of the story seems more closer? Well, listening to the way Abby talks, seems like the latter staff.
Yeah. It's like everything is going in slow motion. Almost like everything.
Abby says she was...
He had raped me 2 times at that point, and I had started fighting him. The questions that I was being asked were not respectful, and like what? Asking me...
It's like how she's rolling her eyes.
The word no.
Is fear a strong enough word for how you felt that day?
I don't know a strong enough word for what I was experiencing.
The 19-year-old student.
I did not hear the question the way it was asked. What the word was that I thought they said. It was either like sex. Absolutely. I'm about being raped. It doesn't make any sense. Crying about being raped. It doesn't make any sense. Horrible and mean. I didn't understand. He said that he'd heard me confessing that I was a liar and that I'd made it up.
Look how she rolls her eyes. With the script, the way she talks, she sounds like she's from a gender. She sounds like she's been listening to a lot of gender studies and the repeating the name narrative. I mean, going through memories and stuff. I know you think you debunked it, but looking at other trauma survivors. And one disclaimer: this is not what I'm building my case on. into which, it is a case for, it is something that might be a lead for investigation, if, about having a hunch at best, but there's no one putting my case on. You can build a case on the fact that she not really not much an emotional effect on her, and which you're going, whatever, yeah, blah, 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 the way she's going through this traumatic memories. And yes, I have heard from trauma victims.
What Abby didn't know is their private call was being secretly recorded by one of Daniel's fraternity brothers.
As if she's gonna answer truthfully if she known she was gonna be on record. They're actually aiding the investigation. They could have gotten more evidence to build up her case.
And the phone call was a cruel setup.
It could have worked in her case.
Consensual was on the other end of that phone.
Yes.
He raped me a couple times. And they said I want to go back to my friends. He wouldn't let me go back to my friends.
You wouldn't take her. So we didn't force anything.
Second interview. Second interview.
Vaguely.
Only vaguely?
You remember certain things, but it wasn't like a miscommunication kind of thing, I guess is what I'm trying to say. He was violent about it. Yeah, I have a lot of injuries.
Why didn't they play charges on them? Oh, so she's not being re-traumatized.
It was an interrogation.
Oh, so she wasn't really being traumatized?
Interrogated and recorded.
It is. It really, in hindsight, was an interrogation. I just didn't know I was being interrogated.
So you can interrogate alleged victims without re-traumatizing them. These boys did it.
But it was this moment right here that would change everything.
Now, did you guys have sexual sex? Or was it you did?
That's it. Their version of the story is, you said yes, you answered to the question, consensual. Your response to that is what?
I did not hear the question the way it was asked.
That's it.
If you listen to the phone call, you can kind of hear that it is mumbled a little bit.
Sexual sex.
I don't remember what the word was that I thought they said. It was either like sexual or like actual.
I heard consensual. You even can make that mistake. You didn't say it clear enough. Even if you're saying it was intentional, but it's an easy mistake. You're about to ask for more money. Was it consensual or what? Was it force? Was it rape? Did you listen to the video in context where they asked, was he forced on you? And how you say you vaguely remember? Put in context, that falls.
There was no confusion on the part of the police. That one word raised enough doubt to dismiss.
What was that one word? Was it when they asked, did he force it on you? Was he forceful? Or how you said it wasn't, you only vaguely remember? Which one was it? There's so much from the interview that this delves into your case. Why are all these stories, cases of women's claims being dismissed by police always after investigation and medical examination? But here's a corrupt cop who helped you. Yes, he is corrupt. Look at him, explain why he's corrupt. Kevin Randolph, that's his name. He's a corrupt. Look at his face. Why don't you get his face here? He's corrupt because one sign of corruption. How did one officer could override medical examination and police and other cases like the video footage of what happened, reporting Daniel, and the phone 911 call itself shows could be been a lot of blocking and other methods. Still go Crusader cop.
Lieutenant Kevin Randolph was a veteran sex crime investigator from the University of Minnesota.
So he comes from a bias?
Randolph says he knew immediately when he read Abby's case file and heard that phone call, Abby had without a doubt been raped by Daniel.
I'm angry at this point because she clearly says twice at the beginning of the phone call, he raped me. And I thought, how can you listen to this and think this is a piece of evidence for the defense?
He says it's called
Because she also said she only sort of remembers and it wasn't forceful and it was a miscommunication type thing and she only sort of remembers. But if that's not enough, there's a video footage of her leaving, and if that's not enough, the 911 call itself for claiming the tongue and throat were cut.
he says it's called a pretext
He knows about
These
Trail
two
Street.
guys who had nothing to do with this incident to begin with inserted themselves into it and derailed the case against Daniel Mellum and left Abby Honnold with no.
Oh yeah, usually reward guys who help get a conviction for a girl. If there, when a girl makes a claim against a guy, and two regular guys who didn't do with it, insert themselves, get evidence to help turn the guy in. All these heroes, you're getting involved, being good Samaritans. But when they're helping, when they find evidence supporting the guy, they're supporting their fellow rapist. Double standard evidence here. You created a cop.
If I let this case go, then none of the other ones matter.
Cops are not supposed to be on a crusade. Why don't they matter? You're supposed to look at things case by case.
Still, there was little Lieutenant Randolph could do to help Abby, unless they could find another victim of Daniel Mellum.
Don't have to verify her case too. I mean, there are plenty of cases like the Giangamoshi, multiple women saying the same thing who turned out to all be lying. After looking at surprise evidence, he turned out to all be lying. Or Tyler Koff, just like the guy was a jerk, and they want to get revenge on Facebook for breaking their heart. They all got together on Facebook. At least Abby isn't just trolling online.
Fight for justice.
Went online, told your story.
So after you read your page, that's how struggling similar?
But not before she got a hit.
You got another troll?
Responses were
Another victim of
Another troll. You don't need to verify her too. How do you know she's not an ex also looking for a chance at revenge?
Would like to tell you a little bit today about just one of those, and it's the least intuitive, the most counterintuitive of all of the factors involved, and that is the false confession.
Daniel Mellum pled guilty and confessed to raping Abby Honolds, so that means he is guilty. Case closed, right? Well, in a case where evidence is overwhelming that a crime occurred, it may very well be a legitimate guilty plea. But that's not the case with Daniel. Asked to raping Abby Honolds during his first police interview. But Daniel has been painted as a brutal, torturing, mutilating sexual predator. Back to that so-called. It wasn't until a year or so later that Daniel was charged again. This was made possible by Abby's teaming up with a lawyer who provides free advocacy for rape victims by the name of Amy Eisenor. Together, they attempted to reopen her case, but were told that they needed more victims to come forward. So, they found two more women Daniel had encounters with previous to Abby. After much cajoling, these women eventually decided to give statements against Daniel. A campus police officer was involved, and he helped rebuild a new, more robust case against Daniel. He was subsequently arrested in an airport while traveling for his sister's wedding. It is documented that Daniel intended to fight the charges, which would mean he intended to plead not guilty. These were serious charges he was facing. Each charge carried something like 20 to 30 years. And if he had multiples, which with multiple accusers he would have, that would mean he'd be in prison for most, if not all, of his life, if a jury were to find him guilty. It is documented that he eventually entered an inpatient sexual behavior treatment program, likely a negotiated condition for lighter sentencing and a guilty plea that the prosecutor would accept. For an innocent person, this program would amount to a brainwashing program. Brainwashing and inquisitory practices are often used by police in interrogations when they want to elicit a false confession.
It's going to be a battle. It's going to be uphill, but it's got to be done. If I let this case go,